maybe that'll make the difference as well. Okay. So I can see that now moving. What I need to do is make sure, and this is the joy it doesn't like it when I just call it. Wonderful. Let me just come through and make sure everything is going to be the same. Everything's got to update while you're away. The beginning, we've got our Father's Day cushion, and we are going to change that just a little bit for tonight, and I'm going to stitch out the golfer's version. So I was never a golfy person. Edward will play the occasional game, but my brother-in-law really is. And this cushion I'm going to make into that standard $8 Kmart cushion. So I'll come through once we get everything stitching and show you how I merge those designs together. But for now, let's come over to the machine and see what we've got to start with. So what you can see here is I've done my standard basting stitch. That's because the scrap of fabric that I found wasn't quite big enough to come through and sit around here. So my stabilizer is firmly in the hoop, and then I've got the basting stitch that's going to hold everything together. So once I've done that, I can begin stitching. I do like that there's only 7 colours in this design. And I'm going to see what I can get away with speed-wise here. Okay, so I hope everybody's had a great week. I got home safely, which is all I basically ever want, and I had such a wonderful time up in Queensland. It was so great to connect again with embroiderers, and we were able to do classes. I've done so many quilting classes. I feel like I could do it in my sleep now. But one of the things that came up, and I can see that Lorraine Schreiss is with us. Thank you very much, Lorraine, for joining us. One of the things that came up was being able to merge designs in a hoop. Now, I know everybody's software is different, but what I want to show you is how I would do that in both my digitizer software and in my embroidery edit software. So I'll do that whilst we're stitching out. And what I have on my monitor is just a blank screen. I work better being able to see face on, so I'm going to rotate the hoop so that I can see what it's going to look like. And the first thing that I'm going to do is come through and on my design, up on my main toolbar, click on the design button. And what this means is when you do this, it actually stops you from accidentally opening the design, altering it, and saving over it. Now, I know that this design is called Teeing Off. LMNO, I know my alphabet. And I can come through and open up the design. Now, this was done many, many moons ago. I'm going to delete the old artwork from it so that I'm just looking at the design. And this design was done 160 wide by 140 high. So we're looking at some older software or older hoop sizes. So what I want to do is just come in and make that a little bit wider. And I always leave on, whenever I'm resizing something, I always leave this little button here, which is the proportional scaling. And what that means is it will change the height as I retype in the width. And that makes, for me, a much nicer design. Now you could also come through and just, you know, pull things apart. All is fine. Whatever works best for you. I just like the proportionality of that. Now once we've pulled in one design, it's really simple to come through design and find what's going wrong with our thread. I'm not sure it likes that slightly higher speed, people. And then I'll come back in and I'm looking for where I have placed my world's best dad design. Now that's actually looking a little bit large for what I want to do here, so I'm going to delete that and go back in and choose the smaller design for the words. Then I'll rotate those and put them in the center of the hoop. And then I've got my design ready to go. I kind of like the idea of the wording being over that putter. And I'm sure a golfer will tell me that that's the wrong term. Now, if I was doing this on my embroidery link software, almost the same. I would come through and from design choose the design that I want. Now we're going to come back so these designs were created about look, it'd probably be even 14 years ago. And it was all, I find it always difficult to find nice designs for guys. But I do like these ones. And as I look around, because these designs are 15 years old, I'm looking around to make sure there's no trim stitches that I need to worry about. So far we're all good. And Dee Dee's with us as well. Thank you for joining us, darling. Okay. So I've got my design here and I've resized it. Now, what I love is that it will only let me resize that to a certain, like to that 10-15%. That is preset by the embroidery edit. Then I come in and add in my world's best dad. Now, what is more difficult in this is keeping things centered, which is why I'm using my finger, but I'm already bored. Okay. And once again, now you are ready to stitch those out. What's important is what you put when. So it's important to layer your designs in the order that you are going to stitch them. I don't want this putter handle stitching on top of my wording. So I had to bring in that design first to allow me to set that. You can, of course, then come through and change your sewing order, but I like the idea of just doing it right first time. And you can pick a view so that you can zoom in on what your design is going to look like. Okay, so let's come over and have a look at our design. So you can see here that we've got our golf shoes being created. Golf shoes and bowling shoes might be the ugliest shoes in sport. Would you agree? Carrie Merritt, hello, how are you going? And Rita Young's with us as well. Good evening, Rita. I had a great morning this morning. Some of you may have seen what I posted, but I've got to bring it up and show you. Ems and I went for breakfast. So we went to the shed outside of Belconnen, outside of Kmart. Emma ordered mermaid pancakes, which was described as, mermaid waffles. It was described as waffles with fruit. Where we get that? When it came, we just looked at each other. It was quite lovely. And those swirly bits, they're not pasta, it's Persian fairy floss. But we had a lovely morning, so they had the day off because it was a planning day, of course. So we got breakfast, we got, she helped me with the groceries. You'll notice this week that there are a lot, or that I've put a lot of new classes. That's just me finally getting organised. Now this is me being very compulsive. So some of the classes that we've got coming up, the next handbag in the bag of the month is going to be the Sew Shop. This was the bag I had with me in Queensland, and we got just so many comments on it. It was just beautiful. And then I've popped in the next in the block of the month, where I'm going to show you how we join the blocks together without any issues. And then in September, we're going to do the new notebook cover, which is perfect for some Christmas presents. There was something else that I felt like I'd done as well, but maybe not. It's amazing how fascinated I get just even watching these stitch out. It really doesn't take much to amuse me at all. I was always incredibly proud because remember, we're talking days before we had before most machines had thread trimmers, and I was always incredibly proud of the way my designs overstitched, so you didn't see those excess stitches, and yet at the same time you didn't have to trim away a ton of stitches. What's everybody up to this weekend? Anyone got anything exciting on? Oh, Kelly, yes, the notebook cover is available. Let me add the link. There you go, Dal. That's the link added there. Okay, almost finished here with our shoe. And then, of course, the next colour is going to be the putter. So we finally have our lounge room floor done, which is wonderful. Mainly because Boyo hopes to get his license on Monday. And so my weekend's going to be a little bit of organisation, I think. Now I can give you a little sneak peek at what I've been working on today. You know when you see something you just think, oh heavens, that's so pretty. Well, I saw this retreat bag and I thought that was just so gorgeous, with the little pulled in bits, and I was just talking to the owner and who created the pattern, and she was mentioning that she would love to do some of her designs in machine embroidery. So we came through and I've digitized the rows, and then I'm about to turn it into this fabulous bag, which we'll use as one of our bag of the months. I just think that it's so different than anything I would normally do, but I just think it's really cute. Loving how this is stitching. Now, never do this, and my fingers healed thankfully, and I kind of guess where it's going. But yeah, do as I say, not as I do. Now I possibly could have gone a dark grey instead there and it wouldn't have looked bad, but I really didn't know then what to do with the grey of the shoes. And good evening, Michelle. Thank you for joining us. I'm so sorry your internet's playing up. Mine for once isn't. And I can see we've got Vida McConnell watching as well. Thank you so much for joining us. I find Father's Day one of the more difficult ones to buy for. I mean, you know, Edward and I, if we want something, we kind of just buy it. And I know he struggles just as much with me for Mother's Day. But we wanted to buy Dad a new barbecue for Father's Day. But he was worried that it was too much money. So he asked us to put it together. To wait till Christmas and do it for Father's Day and Christmas. But, you know, even just something acknowledging the good people in your life. Ah, Michelle's had fresh fish for dinner. That means husband's been out fishing. Tonight was Grace's turn to cook and she has made butter chicken. So I'll have mine when we finish. But I got a coffee, so I'm in no great rush. The other struggle that I'm having is after coming back from Queensland with lots and lots of good ideas, I sat down at my desk yesterday, couldn't think of a damn thing to start. It's always the way, isn't it? Oh, Dee Dee made Thai green curry prawns, yummo. Yeah, look, all my kids are doing well. Cameron, on the cooking scene. Camo is... I'm waiting to hear a big bang from our kitchen, to be perfectly honest. Cameron got one of those cream foamer things as part of his birthday present. And he is putting together chocolate mousse to test it out. See, I love Thai green curry. Not a huge fan of prawns, but damn, that does sound good, Dee Dee. Michelle, I'd be more concerned about my husband only turning up. Well, only having to go to work for 2 hours. That's just teasing you. Okay, so I'm not going to stop between each of these, because I've just realised what they're doing. Thank you, Michelle. I don't know that he had a great birthday. He was planning on, he thought he was going to go out with some friends, but obviously that didn't come through. So he'd worked till midnight the night before. I'd picked him up because it was his birthday. So he kind of slept for most of the afternoon. Didn't want to go out for dinner, so we ordered in takeaway. But he did come home from work cheerful today, so I'll take what I can get. Kerry Merritt's asking, are the snaps on the notebook from the snap kit? You could certainly use those. I've actually just used 2 magnetic snaps on mine. Let me show you. So if this is our notebook, I've just used 2 magnets on that side and then 2 on that side to pull it over. But either way is fine. Cam snaps would be fine as well. So yes, husband and I raised a glass last night because we raised our little foundling till he was 18. But then somebody told me, I think it was you, Michelle, told me a couple of weeks ago that I'm financially responsible for the little horror until he's 25. So that puts a kibosh. But no, we're very proud of him. He's doing good. Proud parent Skite. He was given 3 different gift vouchers from Coles because he got such good reports on customer feedback. Now, he's the person who's packing and scanning the groceries. I mean, I love the boy, but I'm stupefied that he's getting great feedback. So that's amazing. I just wish I, didn't have all the grumpiness at home. I think, it seems wrong to not share it around. Okay. Next up is the glove. I'm very excited. It's so much easier to thread a machine. Now that I've got my glasses. Oh, Dee Dee, I'm so sorry. It doesn't appear to be dropping out on my end. I'm worried now. Gail Murphy, good evening. I hope you're having a great evening. I love with these how it really does end up looking like you've come through and sort of coloured in the design. Oh, good. Trish says it's coming through loud and clear on YouTube. So thank you, and I hope you are having a great day. I am hoping over the weekend, and I use the word hope, you know, very, very loosely. I've got in my mind a little mini project or two that I might do live on Saturday if I get the housework done. Like you gotta do the priorities first. But at least now, instead of vacuuming, I should just be able to sweep. So that's a bit of a positive. Although we're all laughing at how much louder the lounge room is now that there's no carpet in it. I can always remember one of the things that was really interesting. I did the fishing set first, and then I did the teeing off collection. And after that, I would have so many people come up to me and tell me what sport collection they'd like next. And some of them were really, I thought, really, really unique. Like football would be such a pain in the neck because there are so many different codes of football. Then you've got bowling, lawn bowls. I'm trying to remember what the weirdest one was though, because it was kind of out there, and I thought, well, that'll sell one copy of the designs. It wasn't even equestrian jumping. It was the winter sport where you skate down the snow on a skateboard. What about flyball sport? I don't even know what that is. Let me see what flyball is. Oh, there you go. What is flyball? A relay race between two teams of 4 dogs. Each dog must jump over 4 hurdles, retrieve a ball by triggering a flyball box pedal, and then return over the hurdles to the start-finish line. Okay, Kerry, I'm thinking that you're getting the unique thing here. That is pretty darn unique. Okay. Now I want to come through and do the trim. Because all we've got left to do now is some little details, such as the golf ball, that we're going to do in yellow. That might be one of the most unique sports I've never heard of until today, so I've expanded my knowledge base. I've been beeped at by my telephone. Oh, I have no doubt at all that there are a lot of people who are into it. I had never heard of that at all. So no, I am quite happy. I've expanded my knowledge base. And we've got Trish G with us on YouTube. And she's thankful that, yeah, we're Australian. Absolutely. Time zones really do stuff everything up. It's, you know, it's difficult getting up. And I appreciate our international watchers who watch us and who do come in. But yeah, it's nice doing something in those Australian time zones. Trim that away. Compulsive as I am. This would actually make a great cover for a water bottle as well. If you've got someone who you're gifting to on the older side of the spectrum. When I was thinking of something for Father's Day, I was thinking back of all the different sort of Father's Day things that I've done. So we don't need Melways covers anymore, or Sidways or Grisways, whatever you call them, because we've all got GPSs. What else did I do? I did like the emergency car kit with the first aid kit for the car. I always thought that was kind of a good present for my father-in-law. And doing this one because I don't want it to stitch over itself. Nothing worse than pulling out those stitch over themselves stitches. So next week we are doing the laptop bag. Let me bring up a picture. So here's one that I've done in blue. I mean, you can put anything you want on it. What we're really looking at showing you is how to take that laptop bag and embroider it. Now we have the laptop bags there for sale, and they fit from memory up to a 15.6 inch laptop, but the other option is you can find the 17 inches ones on eBay. They are a little more exy, of course. I love this for my tablet, and I am going to do, actually maybe that's what I'll end up doing on the weekend. I am going to do a class where we turn it into a sewing caddy. Damn divots in golf balls. Who'd have them? Ah, Trish, fantastic question. It is a pre-made bag. So we're showing you how to take something that is pre-made and turn it into something that's been customized. And when we taught this bag at the Craft Alive Canberra, my heavens, it was the most popular class we had all weekend. If I could have squeezed more classes in for it, they would have gone. Okay. Not many of the little divots left now, but it does add a nice texture. And then it's going to come through and do the outline. Okay. So now we're up to our wording. Which does mean that I can actually pull this back a little bit. If you've ever wondered whether or not you were, a little bit stingy, come and have a look-see. These are my almost empty bobbins from the Cairns show. Now, some of them are, or from the Queensland shows. Some of them are almost empty. Some of them have more on them than, I'm ever going to be happy not using. So instead, over the next couple of days, as I stitch, I am hoping to use all of those up. I know I'm going to get absolutely sick of changing the bobbin, and that's why I didn't do it tonight. But I thought, if you've ever thought yourself as stingy, this might reset. I'm thinking I'm winning some awards here. And I did like the curving on the text. Now, I forgot now, we do have a little bit of time. I just want to show you how I do that curving on the text. So remember, I'm using Digitizer, which is exactly the same as Hatch and Benina's current offering, current software. So if I come in and I type and then I choose a font that I like, okay. So I need to come down and make sure that auto splits on before I do anything, probably just because I'm compulsive. But back up in my lettering, you can see here you've got where your base lines are. And if I choose, so you've got a straight base line, you've got a downwards base line, you've got under a circle, over a circle, and you've got the any shape. The ones that I use most often are the circle on top and the any shape. But I'll go with the circle on top at the moment. And then if I come in to reshape, it allows me to reshape the size of the circle, which then gives me a different shape for my text. And as that shape gets larger, our lettering goes straighter. Now, if you don't like, because sometimes what happens, and one of those things generally happens when you've got an apostrophe, I can actually come through and move where that lettering is sitting so that it looks more normal when we're finished. So, and it's called keening in text world from memory. If you have a look, because of the space of the W that's left bare, it looks a little bit out of whack. So I could come over and just make that little more close as well. These letters all actually look great. So you really do get a lot of choice with pulling that lettering together. Now, everyone's lettering program, of course, will work differently, but it's a great thing to be able to look and see what, or just to know that different things that you can look at in your software. Kerry, I like Thrifty much more than I like Tightwad. I'll go with Thrifty. It's one of those interesting things. I just have to be able to use them up. I've got a couple of people like Michelle Reynolds has told me she uses them for basting. Having them wait around while I baste it would just be too much for me. So I'm just going to realise that I have to sit there and have it annoy me for a day and get rid of them all. I do love this colour of red. The thing that I remember most about first grade, when you were learning your different letters and everything, for me it was learning the difference between the B's and the D's. And I was taught bat before the ball and drum before the drumstick. Now they teach totally different these days, so that's totally irrelevant to my children. But I always thought that would be something that I would pass on. The fact that I remembered bat before the ball and drum before the drumstick. So does anybody have golfers in their life? Okay. I think back in the 80s, who was the Prime Minister after Keating? Keating was great at big words, and Keating came out with recalcitrant, which we all had to look up and learn what it meant. But he also, it wasn't frugal, it was something that almost sounded a little more demeaning. But as children, we thought that was hilarious, and that was what we used to suggest that Dad was. It wasn't tightwad, it wasn't frugal. It wasn't as nice as spendthrift. Oh, I'm kind of liking how this is looking. One year Dad was doing a job for the local tip, and he was installing a piece of machinery, and he brought home all of these Lions fruitcakes, Christmas fruitcakes. And look, it was only a couple of days till Christmas, and somebody had dumped just hundreds of them at the tip. Well, my father couldn't handle that, so he brought them home. Never have I been so pleased to not eat fruitcake. Just, for 14-year-old me was not happy to have my father stealing things from the tip. Now, however, I love the tip. Now, I do only go to the recycle centre in it. I don't, go around helping myself to the rubbish. But, yeah. We will be at the Underground at some point this weekend. I did like this font. Just got such a lovely deco-esque sort of a look to it. And what have we got? We've got another just 5 minutes left on the design. Been so tired every night, I haven't had a chance to catch up on any of the shows that sort of Edward and I generally watch together while I'm gone. So I am hoping that when we finish up, I might go and watch the Mets in the 12. Now again, do as I say, not as I do. Poke your tongue out because it always helps things work better. Thank you very much, Jenny Smith. What brand of thread am I using? The blue is, what was that crappy, Spotlight brand. We all had them, and I cannot remember now. Let me see if I can find. But it's a real denim-y sort of a colour. And the red is actually an Kingstar thread. Oh, Kim Macon's with us as well. Hi, Kim. going to drive me batty now, you realise. If anybody does remember the name of that Spotlight brand, please share it with a gal. Okay, now so that's the colour that I've used, and you can see it's a really denim-y sort of a blue, so I hope that's of some assistance to you. But yes, if you manage to remember the name of the thread, I would be most grateful. Okay, so our stitching's done. Let's see what we've got. Let me come and take that off. And then okay, I'm quite happy with how that's looking. I think possibly if I was to do it again, I would have made this part of the design a little bit smaller, but I think the lettering's a good size. So all I need to do now, because I've used wash away thread, is come through and dab over those threads to get rid of them, and then I am ready to construct either a cushion or a hot water bottle. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed. Okay, yep. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. I'm just going to cover up that big zit that I've got there. And I've given you some inspiration for your own Father's Day stitching. And we might as well include them in what we do. Just making sure that we've got no other comments that I need to. Thank you very much, Desanka. That's lovely of you to say so. So until next week, be safe, have a stitching